Bill Deef, you run the International Sister City program for Meet Minneapolis. Tell us a little bit about what that all involves.
Well, we have had sister cities for over 50 years in the city of Minneapolis. The first one began in 1961 with Santiago, Chile, and today we have 11 international relationships with cities around the world. And it's a great thing for Minneapolis and its citizens. It involves a lot of our citizen groups. These are run by the citizens of Minneapolis. They're very involved in cultural exchanges, educational exchanges. There's some economic exchanges as well. And one of the best things is that cities can learn from each other. So we have shared how we do things in Minneapolis, and we have learned traveling abroad how they do things in their communities as well.
And a good example might be the relationship with Ibaraki City, Japan, and how we learn about Emergency Preparedness Center.
Yeah, exactly. We've had a relationship with Ibaraki City just outside of Osaka for over 30 years. And on the visits that we've made there, on one of the last times, we learned how they handle emergency preparedness and how they use cameras in their community to be able to fight fires and to just track what's happening in terms of emergencies that are happening in the city. And we've brought that back and incorporated some of that technology into what we have here in our own emergency preparedness center in Minneapolis.
And Bill, when another city comes here, what are some of the American ideas that they look forward to? So what do you show off about Minneapolis?
Well, we like to show the city. They're very interested in being in Middle America and seeing the Mississippi River. They're interested in housing, how our residents live. They're interested in how we treat seniors and how seniors, seeing senior housing facilities, development, how the city's been developed. Some of them, especially our sister cities in Africa and the Middle East, are very interested in water systems and how water reaches our residents. And also sustainability. They're very interested in how we are making Minneapolis a green city, how we use solar energy and our sustainability practices.
So you would actually take a group from a sister city up to the water plant and they could learn firsthand how we have such clean, wonderful water.
Right. Well, we have a group coming soon that involves city planners from our sister city in Kuopio, Finland will be here, and we'll show them some of these things that they're interested to learn about. Some things they're way ahead of us on. It's a really interesting thing to be able to show them what we're doing, the progress we're making on the city, things like the Downtown East development, what's happened on our riverfront, how it went from, very much an industrial river to what you see today here, and also the North Loop and the new plans for the Nicollet Mall. So they're very interested to see how we're handling development issues and also how we engage our residents in making those choices too.
While we can seek, while we can dream, please let our dream come true.
So Bill, it's Aquatennial Week here in Minneapolis. We're on the Mississippi River. And what is this International Sister City Day that we're going to see today and our viewers are going to watch celebrate?
Well, 7 years ago, we started Sister Cities Day here in Minneapolis as part of Aquatennial, our annual civic celebration. And we wanted to be able to share with our residents and friends here locally what we're doing regarding our sister city relationship. So everybody here, each of the groups, all the committees have displays and performances, and so you'll see lots of entertainment and information available for people and residents to find out how they can connect and get involved in these international relationships that we have. And there's free ice cream sundaes for everybody, so what more can you ask?
As soon as Hamill and I are done filming, we're going to go eat some ice cream. Carl Reinhardt, tell us how long you've been involved with the Sister City program here in Minneapolis.
I've been involved, Michael, since 1987. I started with a soccer exchange program, and now I'm the president of the Minneapolis Ibaraki Sister City Association.
And what type of cultural missions do you get involved with?
I help run the haiku contest every year. We do that with Minneapolis students. So we have 1,000 entries. We whittle down to 32 winners every year. We have an art exchange. They send artwork here. In the last 2 years, we've been able to send artwork back to them. We have our Cherry Tree Festival every Mother's Day now. So last year we had our best turnout ever, and we're hoping that it grows and keeps growing.
So when you say cherry trees, we're here on Nicollet Island. Our friends from IBARAKI gave us a wonderful sculpture, and around that sculpture has been cherry trees planted.
Correct. They donated 30 cherry trees about 5 years ago, and so far we've been able to plant 6. Unfortunately, one passed away, but we've been out and we try to hopefully see some blossoms when we have our cherry tree festival.
So Washington, D.C. better look out for us here on the banks of the Mississippi.
That's right. Once we get those other 24 planted, it's going to be real nice out here.
Through the magic of MTN and cable access TV, we're going to learn about the magic of sister cities, and I'm with Melvin Tennant, the CEO and president of Meet Minneapolis. So Melvin, tell us how important that international visitor is to Minneapolis.
Well, Michael, the advantage of attracting international visitors is that they come and they stay longer in communities, because once an international visitor comes over, they want to experience many aspects of a community, even multiple communities, multiple states. So it's important for us to attract the international visitor, A, because they stay a long time, spend more, but it also helps to shape their opinions, and presumably they will go back to their home country and share with their fellow countrymen and women what a great time they've had. So it's a direct benefit, and then also a long-term benefit for attracting international visitors.
And the international visitor fills the hotels, they fill the restaurants, they have quite a large shopping list when they come.
It is. Obviously, the fact that we don't have the sales tax that is on clothing and shoes, that's a big benefit. I remember several years ago we had a delegation of French media here, and just in maybe 48 hours they really did a lot of shopping, and a lot of Levi's. That was one of their big shopping items. But yes, the international visitor stays in hotels, they go to the retail outlets, and they really want to experience America. So it's important for us in Minneapolis to make sure that we show them genuine experiences, not a lot of the chains or anything that they could get anywhere else. Not to say that those places don't have a place, but we really want to show them the unique aspects of the city, and I think that's what they remember.
And Melvin, could you explain to the viewers how our airport is so key for us to be a gateway for international travel?
You're exactly right, Michael. For this part of the country, we are the gateway. In fact, all the contiguous states are really, this is how you get there. And so with the airport serving more than 120 domestic destinations, but then a couple of dozen international destinations, that basically you can get here from anywhere in the world non-stop, no more than one stop anywhere on this globe, and it's very exciting to be able to use that as a marketing tool.
So Melvin, when we say gateway, people don't understand that when someone from Germany or France or Japan visits the Rocky Mountains, right, where do they start?
They absolutely start right here, Michael. The first point of entry into the United States is Minneapolis for many visitors, and of course it's not just Delta. We have multiple carriers that serve international destinations. So that's, again, a great selling tool when we tell visitors that they can get here and then get to this part of the country very easily.
Melvin, thank you so much for telling us about the visitor aspect of your job, but there's also the convention side or big events such as the Super Bowl. Yeah. How does that mission serve the city of Minneapolis?
Well, having just hosted successfully the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, the world now knows that we can handle major events, Michael. And so with the Super Bowl on tap for 2018, that just really dispels any misconceptions of people believing or not understanding why in the world Minneapolis was selected as the site of the Super Bowl. But it has a couple of different benefits for hosting. Obviously, events like the Super Bowl bring in tens of thousands of people who spend money, stay in hotels and restaurants, but it also helps shape the opinion of the community, making sure that people understand that we are a first-tier city that has first-tier amenities and can welcome visitors from not just across the country, but from around the world.
So when you say amenities, it's things like the rail line coming in, the first-class hotels.
You're exactly right, and I just kind of think back on some of the aspects of the bid that we placed to the NFL, and it was transportation, it was special venues, it was hotels, airport, all of those things came together, and I think when they looked at all of those assets and amenities, Michael, they had no choice but to select us. We're very gratified by that.
the sister city to Minneapolis from France's tour, and I'm with a couple of volunteers today. Maybe you could introduce yourself and explain your involvement with the tour Sister City.
I'm Simin Hickman, and I have been involved with the board of the Minneapolis and Tour Sister Cities for almost 3 years now, and it's because of my interest in the country of France and the language and the culture of France. I'm really enjoying this activity.
So tell us a little bit about some of the cultural exchanges that the tour Sister City is involved with.
We have been working very hard to create relationships between Minneapolis and Tour, and as a part of that, last year we were able to send the director of Weizmann Museum to Tour for a visit, and as a result of that visit, we were able to bring a student from Tour to visit here and be part of the responsibilities of the museum to experience what it's like to have a museum exhibition worked on and prepared for, and she worked with the Weizmann Museum for about 2.5 months, and it was a fantastic experience. She learned so much about the process here, and we learned so much from her, and I think this process really works beautifully for us because our goal is to create relationships between the two countries, and bringing students back and forth has helped us a lot with that.
Thank you so much. And Marilyn, tell us a little about yourself and your involvement as a volunteer, because without volunteers, there is no tour Sister City.
No, there's not. Actually, I've been now involved with the organizations for about 1.5 years. I am from France. I've been in Minneapolis.
You know what? You could have fooled me with that accent.
Oh, you're funny. Yeah, really. I've been here now for about 21 years, and I really wanted to reconnect with my roots and bring a little bit of France here. And when I found the organization, I said it's for me. Even though I'm not from Tours, I am from Lyon, but I really enjoyed volunteering for this organization. It's been fun, and bringing a little bit of France into the organization.
And what is Lyon known for? Is it certain types of food or wine?
It is the French capital of gastronomy, so yes, it is known for some great wine from the Rhone Valley, and of course some great food, and there's a lot of little restaurants in Lyon that are just really unique in the old Lyon. But I'm not here to talk about Lyon, I'm here for tours. So.
A little bit earlier, we heard from Bill Deef that Santiago, Chile has been sister city to Minneapolis for 53 years, and I'm with the current chair. Teresa, could you tell us a little bit about how much fun you have involved with the Santiago Sister City?
Well, when Bill Deaf called me in 2010, start joining the program. And it was something because he was interested in have the Chilean people, or the Chilean group, working again in the sister city, since was one of the oldest or the first sister cities with Minneapolis, Santiago. So I accepted, and I thought this would be great, and we've been working together since then, 4 years almost.
Teresa, what type of activities do you do then with Santiago Sister City to help strengthen that relationship?
Well, we have been contacting people from in the culture area, like museums or exhibits of paints or pictures or photography. We also contact another school from Santiago and one from South Minneapolis, so the children could exchange letters to practice their Spanish from here, and then English from there. That was in 2012. And right now we have been working, helping some other small town around Santiago for some issues they have and early this year.
Great. Vice President Elizabeth Glidden, could you tell us how important these sister city relationships are and what a wonderful day today is?
Well, it is a spectacular day, and we are enjoying a big celebration of our sister cities. We in Minneapolis, we have several sister city relationships. We really have found over the years that growing those relationships is one of the most valuable things that we do. We get to learn more about other countries, get to learn more about other people, we get to learn about other economies, and those places also get to learn more about us.
So as Minneapolis grows as an international city, it's so important to understand the culture of our new residents.
Well, one thing that I like to say that I think we're understanding more and more in Minneapolis is that we are part of a world economy. And when we talk about competing, when we talk about learning about other places and what they're doing that's exciting, when we talk about who comes to Minneapolis, we're talking about being part of the world, not just part of the United States. And this again is why our sister city relationships are so important. We have several sister city relationships with places where we have significant immigration back and forth, but that's not all. We're just learning how to be part of that world economy, and that's the benefit of these relationships. We could not do these sister city relationships without the benefit of sustaining organizations and a large number of volunteers. In Minneapolis, we have a format where we say, if we're going to do a sister city relationship, we need to have a partnership that is sustained by a large number of people. And I'm proud to say that we have those relationships. But again, this is due to many, many volunteers that help us maintain these relationships over years, over decades, and we're proud of it.
Elizabeth, as a veteran elected official, you've held office for a decade plus now. What has been the biggest change in Minneapolis?
Without a doubt, one of the biggest changes in Minneapolis is that we are once again, actually Minneapolis was like this several decades ago, but we are once again a hub of where immigrants and refugees come. And that really says something about the languages spoken here, the way we look at our relationships and our economy. And again, this is why our sister city relationships are so important to sustaining us as a city that's visible, that's viable, that's exciting to be in.
Coventry, how long have you been involved with Eldoret Sister City?
Well, the International Leadership Institute has been involved with Eldoret for 14 years now. And it's been a very productive and probably joyous relationship between Minneapolis and Eldoret, Kenya.
And recently, Minneapolis recycled a fire truck to help our sister city in Kenya.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, we've recycled 2 fire trucks. We've given them training and provided equipment to support the fire trucks. And everything is going excellent with these fire trucks. They've had better responses to fires, less loss of life now. And so they are excited about the relationship here, and I look forward to continuing.
Margaret, tell us a little bit about the next sister city trip to Harbin, China.
Oh, I'll be very happy to. We're very excited about taking a group of 5 musicians called the St. Anthony Brass Quintet and our USCPFA Minnesota co-president, Mary Warpeya. There'll be 6 of them traveling to Shanghai and then on eventually to Harbin to perform at the International Music Festival of Harbin in early August.
And I understand that one of the activities that the Harbin Sister City is involved with is bringing a Chinese garden to Minneapolis.
Yes, we are really, really excited about their cooperation in helping us build a beautiful Chinese garden here in the Twin Cities to reflect our friendship with them.
Councilmember Jacob Fry, new council member to the 3rd Ward. Welcome to the first Sister City Day. You must be proud to be here in your home ward.
Yeah, well, it's good to be here, Michael. You know, when Minneapolis can welcome all of its sister cities from around the world and showcase the goods that we got, the beautiful riverfront, you know, St. Anthony, Maine, you can't beat it. Michael, one of the great things about sister cities is the volunteers. I mean, we have people that are giving their own time, in some cases their own money, to participate, to welcome 11 different sister cities into Minneapolis, and I think it's really important.
As we grow as a city, then these international relationships become key as Minneapolis' economy grows, its population grows.
Yeah, the relationships with other cities are extremely important, not just from a sort of a diplomacy standpoint, but also from an innovation and idea standpoint. I mean, there are times when we'll have a delegation that'll go over to one of our other sister cities, whether it's Tours or Santiago, and they'll find an idea that is extremely easy and inexpensive to incorporate into our city, but we just never thought of before. So it's a sort of a bastion of ideas that we can use to really make Minneapolis thrive. New Americans as well as tourists keep our city from stagnating. You know, we've been constantly evolving for hundreds and hundreds of years, whether that be, you know, an influx of the French or Polish or Ukrainian or Somali or Latinos. And having those new ideas, cultures, and mentalities that are coming into our city really help us to stay vibrant and help us to stay unique. And what we're doing is sort of continuing that tradition here by having different cultures experience why Minneapolis is great with this Sister Cities event.
Jacob, as we sit here next to the banks of the Mississippi River, how appropriate that we're celebrating our Sister City Day here on this spot.
I could not think of a better location, Michael. You know, the birthplace of our entire city and really the whole region occurred right here. I mean, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and whether that be, you know, Native American settlers or the French or the Polish, this is the spot where it all began, and this is the spot really where it continues to happen. I mean, we've got an influx of development right now that is really rejuvenating this city. We've got capital coming in from all corners of the whole world, and different ideas that are really starting to make Minneapolis the forefront of innovation, of creativity, and of culture.
Tracy, as a board member of the Cuernavaca Sister City, why do you serve?
Well, it's an important place to me. I studied in Cuernavaca when I was in college and later lived there for several years, and my husband is also from Cuernavaca and has family there, and so because of my relationships and friends there, it's a relationship I want to support.
So you're the perfect bridge between Minneapolis and Cuernavaca.
I guess you could call me the perfect bridge.
Tell us, what are some of the cultural exchanges that Cuernavaca and Minneapolis participate with?
About a year ago, we had a group of high school students from Cuernavaca come to Minneapolis and participate in a robotics competition here at the University of Minnesota. And aside from that, there have been some talks about possibly the city of Minneapolis donating some equipment to the firefighters in the city of Cuernavaca. And then also about 6 or 9 months ago, the city of Minneapolis donated some land to form the Parque Centenario, which is located on Lake Street. And so you can find a statue there of one of the Mexican revolutionaries.
So Bill, you're kind of an old veteran of Sister Cities. How has it developed over the years? It must be fascinating to watch this unfold after decade.
Yeah, well, we've got some very active groups with some really invested people here who are interested in our international relationships. Some of our new immigrant communities, we've established sister cities, for instance, with Cuernavaca, Mexico. We're looking Eldoret, Kenya, which represents, of course, the East African community here. So we've seen, in my time, I think we've added about 5 or 6 new sister cities, and there may be more on the way. It's really great to see the involvement of the citizens and welcoming delegations from abroad and people traveling over there to share their knowledge of things here in America.
And Sister Cities in Minneapolis is part of a larger Sister City effort that was actually founded by President Eisenhower.
Yes, yeah. In the 1950s, President Eisenhower, of course, no one had seen the horrors of war more than he did as a general in Europe. And the idea behind Sister Cities was that if people got to know each other around the world, perhaps there'd be less conflict. So that was in the 1950s. Minneapolis' first sister city was 1961, and there's a whole network called Sister Cities International of these groups. And we're part of that network. And Minneapolis next year in 2015 will host Sister Cities International, so we'll be bringing mayors and elected officials from throughout the world, but especially the United States, here to Minneapolis for about a 4-day conference, so we can share what we're doing here in Minneapolis, and we'll learn from them as well.
So many years, don't let the light go up, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go up, don't let the light go up, don't let the light go up.
Miranda, you have the excellent opportunity to be co-chair with Katie Fournier of the Uppsala Sister City. So welcome to your first Sister City Day.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I learned about the committee actually when I was living in Sweden. And I went to the library one day and I saw this wonderful exhibit about Minneapolis. And I started just grabbing whoever was next to me, this poor Swedish guy, and he said, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Why is this here?" He didn't know, but eventually I found the answer and I learned that we were sister cities.
Tell us a little bit about the Sister City and how you organize. You do work with the American Swedish Institute to fulfill your mission.
Yeah, they're a really great partner for us. They help us with a bit of funding and help us partner to make sure we have resources and connections. But we've been a sister city since 2000, and ASI has been around a lot longer than that, so we're fortunate to have them.
So Melvin, I understand the NCAA Men's Final Four is coming in town soon to kind of kick the tires, see if we're a 219, 220, and all the guys at the Northeast Yacht Club and Elsie's Bowling Alley are volunteering to help you entertain them.
Well, Michael, that's a very generous offer. The time that the NCAA officials will have in town is going to be very, very short. So we have a very scripted itinerary. So I appreciate the offer. Perhaps the next visit we can take them up on that offer. But I think they want to see what the real Minneapolis looks like, and that would be a great way to do that.
That's fair. Bill, I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell me the names of the 11 sister cities.
I think I can get them. I'm not sure they'll all be in order, but Santiago, Chile, Kuopio, Finland, Winnipeg, Canada, Ibaraki City, Japan, Novosibirsk, Russia, Eldoret, Kenya, Tours, France, Uppsala, Sweden, Cuernavaca, Mexico, Harbin, China, Najaf, Iraq.
Excellent.
Did I get them all?
You got them all.
All right.
You got them all.